30,000 ready to go tonight. This is SEC Saturday night. Home of the Aggies since 1905 and home of the 12th man. 3-1 Texas A&M welcomes 3-1 South Carolina to town. Welcome everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. We'll see Cole Kublik in a moment or two. Okay, they say everything's bigger in Texas, and we know that. And around this program, so is the drama. This team has won 3 in a row, but the way they lost the opener has some people think the sky is falling. You don't think that's the case?
Not at all. Expectations here are always high, but pump the brakes. They are one play in that UCLA game away from being undefeated. Haven't played 18 true freshmen. You got a quarterback that's a true freshman. He wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the season. So there's a lot to be positive and a lot to be hopeful about with this Aggie team.
As you look at head coach Kevin Sumlin, you know that this program and his coaching has centered on his quarterback play. Of course, there is Johnny, that record-setting Heisman year of 2012. But since then, the carousel has spun and spun and spun. Hill, Allen, and Murray all transferred out. Trevor Knight was a great stopgap coming in from Oklahoma for a year. But Nick Starkel, a great drop-back passer, was lost with a broken leg week 1. And now it's Kellen Mond. And the good news is this offense continues to grow under Mond.
Absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, he's shown poise well beyond his years. But the skill set that this young man possesses, he's accurate. He'll beat you with his arm. But even more dangerous than that, when he takes off, he's got a chance to outrun everybody on the field. And this offense has been dialed in around Kellen Mond and his skill set since week 1 when he came in under a Nick Starkel game plan. They have tweaked and retooled it to fit this young man.
On the other side for South Carolina, a lot of the optimism around the program centers on their quarterback, young Jake Bentley. He would fit in great in this state. He's a gunslinger. He likes to take chances. And Bentley is a guy that finally sparked the offense to a great fourth quarter in a comeback win Saturday against La Tech.
Yeah, an offense that has really been sputtering. I mean, 0 points, 227 yards last week through 3 quarters. This offense and this team right now is on the shoulders of Jake Bentley. He is as talented as I've seen from a young quarterback, cerebral, talented, skill set wise, but he's got a big weight on his shoulders with no Deebo Samuel. They got to be explosive. They got to generate something better this week with the offseason.
Speaking of changes, a lot up front. For more than that, let's go down the field as we say good evening to Cole.
Tom, you guys mentioned 2 high-powered offenses on the field tonight. Games are won and lost in the trenches. That will be the story tonight. Both of these offensive lines for Texas A&M and South Carolina starting their 4th different group in 5 games along the offensive line. Texas A&M is going to run 4 new offensive line in at a certain time. Eric McCoy, the center, will be the only O-lineman that stays on the field. Which group can gel, which group can play as one, might have the edge winning this football game.
Injury note, Corey Helms, the right guard, didn't even make the trip for the Gamecocks. Rashad Fenton from South Carolina from inside the 1. Fenton slices his way out past the 25-yard line, and that's where Jake Bentley will set up shop. Jake Bentley brought a long and windy road to South Carolina, originally his home state. Yeah, his dad's the running backs coach there, but was also a fantastic high school coach in the Palmetto State. Of course, he comes from a football family. His brothers have and do play college football right now. And Bentley wasn't just an early enrollee. He graduated from high school early to come to Columbia and suit up as a starting quarterback. Didn't see action early last year. Didn't play in this Texas A&M game, but now he's 7-4 as a starter. There's his dad, the running backs coach. And they'll rotate 3 different running backs behind him. Tyson Williams gets the first crack at it from the backfield and is able to pick up 4. Tyrell Dotson with the stop for A&M. Here's how the Gamecocks look on offense.
And as much as we need to get that running game going in South Carolina, Brian Edwards stepped up and filled the void of Deebo Samuel last week. He's explosive. None bigger than that play to set them up for the game-winning field goal. He's going to be the go-to guy for Jake Bentley in Deebo Samuel's absence.
Had 122 yards last week against Louisiana Tech. Bentley lets it go deep outside. It is incomplete. Trying to find Shi Smith. Defensively, this is what the Aggies look like under Chief John Chavis.
And Armani Watts is the veteran back there in a young secondary that has not played the pass very well this year. You see South Carolina testing them early. His communication, his leadership, and more importantly, his playmaking ability will be vital today.
Quite an atmosphere here. Kyle Field, 3rd and 6. Pressure coming up the middle. Bentley hit as he throws, incomplete. And South Carolina will have to punt it away. He was trying to fit it into Ortre Smith. Zakoven Henderson brought the pressure.
And Armani Watts alluded to the fact they were going to mix things up, roll coverage, bring some pressure. See big number 92 coming around the corner there. Zakoven Henderson providing the pressure. It was just enough to knock Bentley off his spot, resulting in an inaccurate pass.
And the dynamic Christian Kirk back to return. One of the most exciting players in all of college football. Had a kick return for 100 yards last week. Punt's going to drop in front of him and check up. And it will trickle out of bounds past the 25-yard line. 43-yard punt from Joseph Charlton. And here's the freshman Kellen Mond, originally from San Antonio. Same high school as Trevor Knight at Reagan High School. Went down to Florida to play his senior year at IMG Academy, playing with all those all-stars down there. He put up some incredible numbers. He set the school record for passing touchdowns and for rushing touchdowns, besting the numbers put up by a couple of SEC stars. And Mond 7th in the league with 6 touchdowns. You mentioned it earlier, Jordan. He was directing an offense week 1 that wasn't built for him. It was built for the previous starter, Nick Starkel, who was lost to UCLA with a broken leg. Coming near side for the screen, here's Damian Ratley. No blockers there, but still able to find 4. Aggies on offense feature Christian Kirk and some other playmakers on the outside.
And Christian Kirk is going to be the guy that Kellen Mond will be looking for. They're going to double him. They're going to try. Texas A&M's going to have to move him around, formationally guard him, move him from one side of the field to the other. There's going to be a lot of spotlight on both sides of the ball, focusing on Christian Kirk.
See if that attention helps open up the Aggie running game. Osborne, the freshman, in motion. It's a handoff to Travion Williams. Williams has a first down, bends it back in before getting flipped by Chris Lamons, and is able to pick up a first down with a baker's dozen on that run.
And a power play here to the outside. Eric McCoy, the center, number 64, pulls and really opens this up with a lead block, and Travion Williams able to capitalize. That's good. Texas A&M needs to get the run going early and control the time of possession in this game.
15th in the country with the run. That is a pass and a toss to Kirk, trying to find the edge but can't. No gain. Demaius Williams is able to escort him out of bounds. South Carolina defensively has left a little bit to be desired. This is a very young defense.
And Sky Moore is the one we're usually talking about, but TJ Brunson has been so vital to this South Carolina defense. He's leading the SEC in tackles. He's violent, he's fast, he's physical, and a perfect complement to a very instinctive and pass coverage oriented Sky Moore.
He's a hometown kid from Columbia, South Carolina, at Richland Northeast. 2nd down 10. Mond looking for Williams out of the backfield. He's got blockers in a big hole. Can't quite make something happen with Fenton taking him out with gain of 7. A little trash talk and some energy from Rashad Fenton, the Miami kid. South Carolina's a little fired up. They've never beaten Texas A&M. 0-3 against the Aggies. And they haven't won a game in the Lone Star State since 60 years ago. They beat Darrell Royal's first team over in Austin. Kirk relocates to the slot. Mond over the middle on a crossing route, defended by Fenton again, trying to find Jamon Osborne, the talented freshman who played high school ball with Mond.
We're going to see South Carolina bringing some pressure. There's one thing when you're a young quarterback, it's as soon as you get hit or as soon as you get some pressure on you, those eyes start to drop. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's South Carolina's plan tonight. Bring pressure, especially on 3rd down situations like that.
Shane Trapuka to punt it away for Texas A&M. Fenton will look for a return. Fair catch asked for, and he takes it right at the 10-yard line. A 36-yard punt from the senior Shane Tripucka. South Carolina back on offense when we return. Jake Bentley handles a high snap. Here's Tyson Williams. Here's another look at the injury to Terry Guger on the punt return team after the punt from Tripucka. Left side of your screen, number 6 in white.
It's really it's tough. You know, you can't really tell what exactly happens there.
And then the thumbs up coming off the field. They cut his shoulder pads off. They cut his jersey off. They took the face mask off and got the helmet off almost immediately. And now he'll get proper medical attention. We'll keep you posted on any news we may have regarding that injury. Bentley on play action. Looking for Hurst. His tight end can't haul it in. And it falls incomplete. Coverage on the back end from Texas A&M and this very, very young secondary. Debione Renfro, freshman from Pearland, Texas, had the coverage there on Hurst.
Bentley looking for the guy I keep saying they got to get more involved, but it's difficult when you don't run the ball well. Play action doesn't have the same effect, so those DBs aren't as worried or they don't get their eyes in the backfield, and you don't have the windows that you're used to. So gonna have to find different ways to get Hayden Hurst the ball, not relying on play action.
3rd down 7. Aggies drop deep. Bentley pressured. Somehow escapes the first couple. Can't get past the 3rd, and he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Texas A&M is a team under John Chavis which leads the SEC in sacks per game. A lot of those over the years have come against non-conference opponents, and this is big to get some pressure on Bentley.
Yeah, and it's the name that I already talked about earlier today, Landis Durham, off the right side of that offensive line, which now the injury with Malik Young, right tackle, is completely retooled. They're going to have to find ways to add another blocker and protect Bentley because Texas A&M is rearing their ears back right now.
Another beauty of a punt from Charlton and another fair catch by Kirk, who fumbled the last one away. That's a 44-yarder that time from the sophomore Joseph Charlton. Let's go down in the field and get an update from Cole Kubelik.
Tom, update on Terry Guger. He has been placed into the ambulance and is headed off to Charles M. White Hospital in College Station, about 6 miles away from here. But he is loaded, headed to the hospital for further observations.
All right, thank you, Cole. Cole, stay with us. I want to get back to you after this play because in addition to Terry Guger's health, there's also the question of how you return to the game. That's a backwards pass hauled in by Paul, and it gets taken down in South Carolina territory. As you were down on the field watching the medical staffs plural, the A&M guys are down there helping out too. Attend to Guger. What was the mood down on the field?
Before he headed off to Scott and White Hospital, Tom, it was a somber moment. You saw Coach Will Muschamp did not leave his side. A lot of concern on his face, as you could tell. Some of the Texas A&M staff, all of their training staff, there by his side, just trying to help in any way that they could. And you guys mentioned it. These two teams are both laser focused in on what's happening to one of their opponents that they have a lot of respect for and one of their teammates who they've been through a lot with.
All right, thank you, Cole. Kendall Bussey rips off a 10-yard gain. A&M trying to find the end zone for the first time tonight. 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Bussey became a workhorse a couple of weeks ago. Closed out the Nichols game with 13 carries in the final 2 drives. It's a kid who thought about transferring away from Texas A&M in the offseason. 8 yards a carry for this Texas A&M running game. Little swing pass, maybe a yard past the line of scrimmage for Paul, freshman from Bremen, Texas. This is about 50 miles north of here on Highway 6.
And these are the reads that they're going to start to allow Kellen Mond to develop in. That's an RPO. That's a run pass option. He's got an end to read. He can hand it, he can take it, or he can throw. There's really 3 options on that play, and that's what we've seen this Texas A&M offense continue to lean more and more towards, to play to Kellen Mond's strengths.
4 of 6 through the air thus far for the freshman quarterback. Handles the errant snap. Here's Bussey again. No gain. We're talking with Texas A&M staff about a lot of those run pass options for Kellen Mond, and while it may seem at times like they're giving him the read, when it comes to the zone game, the read is all his, but they can simplify sometimes with the run pass options, can't they?
Absolutely. It's all based on leverage. You're controlling Kellen Mond's eyes. You're not allowing him to look at one linebacker, seeing the leverage. If it's not there, you hand it off. If they give you the look you want, you throw it. You simplify things for young quarterbacks.
He's got a young receiving core. Mond on 3rd and 10. This is Bussey. He's got the first down, and Bussey gets chucked out of bounds by Rashad Fenton, but not before he finds 19 on the catch and run. The sophomore from New Orleans.
And this is an element that Bussey brings to the table here. He's very elusive, very quick out of the backfield. Kevin Sumlin, when we talked to him yesterday, kind of looked down at the stat sheet and said, oh man, we got 1 carry last week. I wanted to get him more involved, so we're seeing him more and more involved early on, and that's one of the reasons. He catches the ball very well out of the backfield.
Out of Newman High School in New Orleans, same high school as Peyton Manning. Bussey originally committed to his hometown school, Tulane. Williams has taken over in the backfield now. Mond finds Travion Williams. Whoa, what a spin move! And Williams unable to take advantage of it, maybe got an extra yard. But he put Jam Williams in the washing cycle, a little spin on him.
That's what these guys can do when they get the ball in their hands. Whoop. I mean, that was never in my repertoire. Not once.
2nd down 2. Williams, no gain, and that will leave 3rd. Taylor Stallworth with a stop up front. Travaris Robinson's South Carolina defensive unit.
This has been an area of emphasis here for Noel Mazzoni in this Texas A&M offense, the tight red zone. So once you get inside that 12-yard line, and they're right on the edge of it right now, their main focus has been getting Christian Kirk the ball. But you're going to see a lot of double team looks, a lot of bracket looks as we're seeing right here on Christian Kirk. So they may be entitled to run the ball.
This is a long one, almost 2 yards needed. They'll get that from Keith Ford. Able to take it inside the 10. And when we come back for the 2nd quarter, Texas A&M is going to be looking at a 1st and goal. An emotional start to this one. Deep in the heart of Texas, and the Aggies looking for some momentum and trying to get the crowd back into it. Take a look at our tailgaters of the week, brought to you by Zaxby's. They took it to a different level here in College Station, as they always do. A little tailgate karaoke, huh? I'll be singing the battle hymn. Sawing horns here at Kyle Field. There's nothing like it. What a scene. Welcome to the SEC. Kellen Mond, the freshman quarterback, knocking on the door, 1st and goal from the 8. Pressure from the edge. Mond looking to the right side. He finds his man to the pylon, and Travion Williams gets popped. They say he's in. Touchdown, Texas A&M. 8-yard strike from Mond to Williams.
He dives and puts his body on the line there, and that's gonna might take a second look at that. That's pretty close.
Only has to break the play in the front end. DJ Smith, the first guy that got him. Feet were inbounds. The ball, I don't know. TJ Brunson is the one that cleaned it up, and I think he got him before he got to the yellow stripe.
After review, the player's arm touched the pylon while the ball was at the 1-foot line. It'll be 2nd down at the 1-foot line.
There you go.
That's what we saw up here.
So they'll take 6 off the board, and Texas A&M looking at 2nd and goal. They still have that starting offensive line in the game. Martin, Prater, McCoy, Lanfear, Sutherland. 10th play of the drive. And Travion Williams, who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year, flanks the freshman Kellen Mond. Williams, no question this time. He's in for the Aggies' first score of the night. A 10-play, 55-yard drive for Texas A&M. Methodical.
Just an inside zone. Down that close to the goal line, it's man on man. Can you beat the guy over the top of you? Great way to finish it off there for Texas A&M.
Daniel LaCamera punches through the extra point. And Texas A&M opens up a 7-0 lead. Great call on a second look at the would-be touchdown, and then Williams wasted no time. This is a change of pace for Texas A&M this season. One of the reasons they played so many guys in that opener against UCLA. 60 different Aggies saw the field against the Bruins. They're without Deebo Samuel, perhaps the most dynamic player in the league and leading the league in all-purpose yards. They're without 2 starting offensive linemen. This is a steep hill for South Carolina's offense. Bentley fires one to the outside. Caught! First down, Shi Smith. And Bentley can make it happen quick. He's not afraid to look deep. First down for South Carolina.
Wow. That's a throw right there. And Jake Bentley has as good an arm talent as there is for a young quarterback, but it's the ball placement here. The height and trajectory, and let alone leaving it outside, because Armani Watts had a beat on that one.
Bentley to throw again. Lobs one to Hurst. Somehow he brought it in. Aggies gambled for it. The tight end, former baseball player, takes it into Texas A&M territory. 27-yard gain.
And another great throw by Bentley. Buys time in the pocket with pressure in his face, which is why this ball came out with not as much heat as he's used to putting on. But that's some strength right there. Hayden Hurst. It's a grown man snatching that ball away from Armani Watts.
Watts' gamble backfired. He's already got 3 picks this season. He was hunting number 4. Bentley deep down the sideline. Too strong. That time he's trying to fit it to Brian Edwards. Interesting dichotomy from South Carolina philosophically between what they do offensively and what they do defensively. Will Muschamp's team will very rarely allow a big play, but with Jake Bentley at quarterback, he's always looking for a big play.
Yeah, and they haven't been great at executing them. They haven't hit the plays that they've wanted to from an explosive nature, whether it's passing or running the ball. But they're going to take their hacks. They're going to take those shots, and Brian Edwards is that guy that's going to be the deep threat for them moving forward without Deebo.
Bentley pressured and taken down. The Aggies get to him with a speed rush from the outside. Landis Durham was the first man there, and it's a loss of 9.
And John Chavis brings some pressure off the edge. It's number 46, Landis Durham, on the right side of your screen. Nobody there to pick him up. Not sure if the back was supposed to scan to that side. He got out and
they got away with a face mask.
And now this crowd's really getting into it.
3rd down and dime box to go. Bentley escapes, heaves deep, got a man! Touchdown, South Carolina! Shi Smith from 45 yards out.
And this is why Jake Bentley is so dangerous. his ability to make things happen outside the pocket.
Parker White for the point after for South Carolina. And after zeros in the first quarter, we opened the second quarter with back-to-back touchdown drives. Locked at 7. And things have gotten really interesting here at College Station all of a sudden. Bentley pulls a Houdini. First 2 miss, and then he chucks it deep. It's almost like he wants to be pressured. Smith's touchdown ties it up at 7. Field, home of the Aggies since 1905, and South Carolina making its second trip here. Only 1 win in the Lone Star State for South Carolina from 60 years ago. Parker White kicks it off for the Gamecocks. Nobody there to return for Texas A&M. Christian Kirk had walked up to block. Incomplete, trying to sneak it outside to Christian Kirk. Cole, what are you hearing from John Chavis down there?
Spoke to the Texas A&M defensive coordinator before the game time, and he said, Cole, we are worried about when Jake Bentley gets outside of the pocket. We emphasized rush lanes, not to get too far upfield, and stay with your pass rush because he is lethal when he escapes the pocket, whether with his legs or, like we saw in that previous touchdown, with his arms. It was a big concern for A&M coming into this game.
Jake Bentley is a guy that works on what they call off-platform throws.
Oh, yeah. That's something I was big on. What that means is when your feet aren't on you, how you're used to them. You're not balanced. You got someone in your face. You're rolling to your right, to your left. Yeah, those things are innate, but they can be practiced as well.
Mon goes down. Oric Jones gets to him. It's a loss of 8. But both of these teams over recent history have had some fantastic pass rushers, both going first overall in the draft. These guys don't have the same credentials, but they're getting to the quarterbacks tonight.
It's a D-line stunt. Oric Jones comes from the opposite side of the center. Kind of got away with the hand to the face, as we saw one earlier as well.
Good for the goose, good for the gander. Aggies 2 for 4 on 3rd down, 5 on the clock. The freshman Mon seeing pressure again. O-line picked it up for a moment. Can't hold forever. And Mon will chuck it over the Aggie bench. Brad Johnson and DJ Wanham were both chasing him down. Johnson, number 19 for South Carolina, seeing some more playing time tonight after Bryson Allen Williams was lost due to injury last week.
And that linebacker crew is, I think, the most talented on South Carolina's defense, with Sky Moore, TJ Brunson. Really had a workload picking up the slack with Bryson Allen Williams in that injury.
Shane Trapuka, Uncle Kelly playing basketball at Notre Dame and in the NBA. And that one will go out of bounds across the sideline, and we'll see where it's marked. Special teams play has been pretty good for South Carolina tonight. That is merely a 33-yard punt. The Yell leaders looking for something else to yell about. Bentley looking to uncork one to the near side. That's caught for a first down. So how is that helpful to a quarterback?
Well, it's all about providing the vantage point that you're used to. So it's one thing watching film and saying, oh, yeah, that's cover one. But it's another thing getting back into the role or the place that you stand in practice and evaluating the defense. And then putting a time clock on it, It's like actually getting a rep. So I don't know about this, but
no,
yeah, you actually look good in this, so it can't be real.
It must be broken. You quarterbacks use it to look at football plays and look at secondary. I wonder what else you could use the virtual reality for. Here's Bentley lobbing it. Hurst has another big gain, and he's inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. That's a gain of 24. I think this is, I don't know what foul this is, but I'm going to have the chicken wings and chicken fingers. If you want some, or you want my tray?
I'll take the boneless right there. Of course, I'd be playing football, and he's looking for the buffet.
I want to eat. Good barbecue here in Texas. Also good football game thus far. And South Carolina looking for its first lead of the game behind their sophomore quarterback, Jake Bentley. There's a tight end, August, to the right side. Bentley gives it up, and Rico Dowdle gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Latara Alaka, the junior out of Houston, Cypress Falls, brings him down. Here's a quarterback view in many ways.
And that's really what we're talking about. That view right there, if you're sitting on your couch or you're watching, that's what's realistic for evaluating tape and looking at defenses from a quarterback standpoint.
Arkansas and Brett Bielema will use a similar system, and one of the ideas is that you can get reps away from the field, even off campus.
Oh, yeah.
Second down, 12. Here's Hurst again. The former baseball player is able to take it down for a gain of 4 before Armani Watts brings him down.
Really only a handful of schools using that as well, and I think it's valuable. Visualization is so important, and so when you're not on the field taking those reps, when you're a young quarterback like Jake Bentley, he played part of the season last year, he's still growing, and obviously Kellen Mond is a true freshman. The more reps you can get, the more you're going to be ready for these game-like scenarios.
I don't know if you can replicate this atmosphere, though. Now he's looking at a third down in front of nearly 100,000. Pressure coming. Bentley backtracking, heaves, and nowhere to go. Kurt Roper talked about this earlier. The offensive coordinator for South Carolina kind of has his back against the wall in some ways when they get in the red zone. They will take more chances because the kicking game has been so very inefficient. Already one missed field goal tonight, and that's not a position you want to be in as a coordinator.
No, not at all. And they tried a man beater here to the slot side, but right now without Deebo Samuel, you don't have the same playmakers to beat man coverage as you're used to.
29-yard attempt for Parker White, who is 1 for 6 and 0 for 1 tonight. And White able to sneak it through. So Parker White bounces back after his miss in the first quarter, and South Carolina has got its first lead of the night here in Aggie land. Fourth all-time meeting between South Carolina and Texas A&M, and the Gamecocks have yet to win one against the Aggies. 10-7 lead. And South Carolina with its first lead of the game thanks to a 6-play drive that ended in a 29-yard field goal from freshman Parker White. And White out of Wando High School in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, will kick it off. The always dangerous Christian Kirk took 100 yards last week against Arkansas. It was the first kickoff return for a touchdown in 7 years for A&M. Kirk tempted, and he will bring it out 4 yards deep. Kirk trying to get past the 10. He will not. Great special teams coverage by South Carolina. And they'll run it again. 5 that time for Williams, sophomore from Houston. Last year became the first true freshman in school history with 1,000 yards. They've only had a handful give them 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons, and Williams is trying to join that exclusive crew. Keith Ford is in the game in the backfield now. Second down 5. Sky Moore switches of coverage for South Carolina. Moore drops, reading Mond's eyes. And now Mond has to leave the pocket, looking to run. Got a great block and may have stepped out past the marker for the first down. 6 yards scrambled. Tanner Shorp helped him out by sealing the edge.
Look at him keep his right foot in right there. Great awareness along the sideline.
A&M has 3 timeouts. Three-man rush for South Carolina. To Ford. Nowhere to go. Met immediately by DJ Wanham, who's stepping in at the strong side linebacker spot with Bryce and Allen Williams out. 1:21 to go in the half. 2nd and 6 here for Kellen Mond. Again, a 3-man rush. And incomplete. Little bit high that time. Trying to fit it into Aaron Hansford. Mon 10 of 16 for 66 yards here in the first half. Came in relief in the UCLA game after Nick Starkel was lost with a broken leg. Here's Ford. Saw Starkel at the facility yesterday. He was getting around pretty well after surgery. Seemed to be in good spirits. Timeout used by South Carolina, trying to get the ball back. 4th and 1. LSU has won 49 straight non-conference home games, second longest streak. Bentley threw for 304 against Kentucky a couple weeks ago, 295 last week against Louisiana Tech. And they will run it up first down. A&M was ready for it. Nothing gained with Tyson Williams.
Usually that first play, as I said, kind of dictates what you're going to do. If that goes for 8 or 10, they're probably going to push the pace. But you see him not really in a hurry right now. So negative play there. They'd be happy to take this one to the second half of that 3-point lead.
Injuries continue to be an issue for South Carolina tonight. Malik Young, the right tackle, is on crutches on the sideline according to Cole. So they've got DJ Park over there at right tackle. Corey Helms, senior right guard, didn't even make the trip due to an injury, and Zach Bailey is out the next couple of weeks. Done 3 offensive linemen tonight. Still a big hole, and that's Tyson Williams, who rips off 13. 14 seconds on the clock. Would you get Bentley out of the pocket?
I wouldn't now. If that was the first play,
yeah,
then yes. But they were content to let this one run out after that first negative play.
And they're content to take it to the house. They've never beaten Texas A&M. And this is a South Carolina team hasn't won a game in Texas since 1957. They have a 10-7 lead at the half. Now it's taken to the lawyers. Doring and Chiz. Will Muschamp and his young quarterback looking for their second SEC road win of the season. Meanwhile, Kevin Sumlin and his youngster signal caller trying to find some offense. They were stagnant most of the first half. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. So if you're Kevin Sumlin or you're Will Muschamp, how do you get a young quarterback going? How do you keep one going?
Well, you got to get Christian Kirk involved. He's only got 1 touch so far, and it was early in the game. South Carolina's doing a good job of covering him, bracketing him at times. They got to find ways to get him moving, get him motioning before the snap, and get your best playmaker the ball. That'll make it easy on the young quarterback.
Well, this is the best playmaker on the field. It's Christian Kirk as Texas A&M receives the second half kickoff. And Kirk won't get a chance. They're going to keep this one short. It is dropped. But Texas A&M will have it at the 20-yard line. Calvin Klein, the backup tight end, with nothing on the return. Let's get to the field. Trips to the right side for Kellen Mond. Williams trying to cut back, and he's got to fight for 4. Cole, what are you seeing out of the offensive line tonight for A&M?
They're playing physical football, but you mentioned those changes, Tom, and it's difficult to get on the same page. I spoke to offensive line coach Jim Turner while we were at the facility yesterday. He said, listen, Cole, this isn't something I'm used to, something I really like, but I have to get guys ready. I need to build depth. This is the SEC. We're going to be going up against big physical defensive linemen week in and week out. And like you and Jordan just mentioned, guys are going to roll up on you. Bigger bodies are going to fall on you. He said, I have to have guys ready to play. We haven't had that in a few years, so he's trying to build that depth.
On 3rd and 5 with the band playing, going deep. It is incomplete, trying to find Kirk. Chris Lamont's had the coverage. One of the reasons, and we've talked about this already, that Texas A&M is so adamant about developing depth is the way the last 3 seasons have ended after fantastic starts. And Kevin Sumlin said, this is a change for me to try and build depth and play a lot of youngsters early. And as a result, he knows just how important it is to get past that 8-win plateau. Lamont is back at the 10. No return. 10-7, South Carolina with the lead. Thumbs up, howdy in Aggie land. Jake Bentley going to work for South Carolina. Tyson Williams breaks free, high steps his way to the 40, spins his way to the 45, and then another great move to get into Aggie territory. And what a run, 34 yards for Tyson Williams, the North Carolina transfer. And there's a lot of folks in the ACC taking note of this one tonight. This is a shocking development.
And Donnell Stanley makes that one happen, pulling from the right side. That's all Williams at the end there. Great block up front by the right guard, Donnell Stanley, though, pulling around and springing that one for Williams.
You heard Dari and the guys talk about it at the half. This was, I know we still got a half of football to play, but this is a result that most people didn't see coming. For South Carolina to have the lead in the second half against Texas A&M, to come in here in front of 100,000 or so for Will Muschamp's team, which really struggled at home last week, and they lost at home the week before.
Yeah, and watching film, I did not expect this out of Texas A&M's offense. And frankly, South Carolina's defense hasn't been great. They've given up almost 80 yards passing the football, and Texas A&M hasn't been able to muster anything.
On 2nd and 7, Bentley deep into coverage. It is incomplete. What a fantastic job by Brian Edwards to knock that one away from Armani Watts, who's tied for the league lead in picks.
And great job by Brian Edwards of playing defense there, because that one was in the crosshairs of Armani Watts. Just a bad decision by Jake Bentley here, trying to hit Edwards up the seam, and boy, that should have been an interception. Great job by Edwards making a play on the ball and saving his quarterback.
3rd down 7. Bentley to the slant, caught, 1st down for South Carolina, and Shi Smith takes it inside the 20. Similar to the way South Carolina started the game against Kentucky a couple of weeks ago.
It's just a great job by Jake Bentley here. He's got pressure coming on the left side of his screen, throws away from the pressure. He's got a slant. Shi Smith, true freshman, that's been playing really well. Probably the fastest guy on their roster. 2nd slant he's caught with some room to run.
Out of Union, South Carolina. They convert a big 3rd down on Smith's 3rd catch of the night. Tyson Williams gets bottled up after picking up a yard. As a young quarterback playing in this environment, what does it do for your confidence when you complete and convert on 3rd?
Oh, those are the best. When you got a crowd that's getting into it on 3rd down and you hit a big play, that's the best silence you'll ever hear. But I tell you what, Jake Bentley's the kind of quarterback, there's nothing that rattles him. 100+ here could be all on their feet, yelling and screaming. That's exactly the environment he wants to play in.
Pulls it back, looks over the middle, got it, touchdown, South Carolina. Ortre Smith with the grab, and the Gamecocks take a 2-score lead on a 13-yard strike.
This is such a great play design here, play action. Got the running back coming across, and all the eyes of the defense go there, and Ortre Smith sneaks right behind. The safety there for an easy touchdown.
A 6-play, 80-yard drive. Shi Smith had the big one for 29 yards. That was on 3rd down, and then Smith hauls it in for a touchdown. How about this look from Bentley?
And he's even drifted to his left here. A big-time throw to another true freshman making a play.
Jake Bentley has thrown for a couple of touchdowns. The crowd and the scene has not been too much for him.
And South Carolina has needed this. They've been lacking any type of downfield explosiveness from the passing game, and Bentley has been money today. Hitting true freshman Shi Smith on a couple slant routes, and then another true freshman, 6'4", 220-pound Ortre Smith in the end zone there. That's big for a young quarterback to have 2 young true freshman guys stepping up, making big plays, especially without Deebo Samuel out there.
And also without 3 starting offensive linemen tonight. It's a team that brings more pressure, converts on more pressure than anybody in the SEC. Coordinator, here's Keith Ford. Cole, how does that play out as an offensive lineman?
Well, it obviously gives the defensive line a beat on what you're trying to do, but I was as confused as Jordan was, and I asked offensive line coach Jim Turner about it. He said, yeah, I'm trying to tighten the pocket. I don't want to give up twists and pass rush, so we tighten them down.
Out to Kirk. And Kirk brought down by Williams after a gain of 6. Here's what Jordan and Cole are talking about. The offensive line splits up front.
This right here. That is a run. That is a run play. Look how tight this lineman is, the guard to the center, and look on the other side. That's what we're talking about right there. When you're on the field, it's right in front of you. You see that.
Play action. Mon able to get it to the perimeter.
Tom, I'm not kidding. I'm up here in the booth and I can see it. I can see it from up here. So if you're down on the field, it's obvious. And that's something that you got to be able to self-scout and realize when you're tipping things not obvious.
Cole, shouldn't the offensive lineman have some awareness to that too? We'll let you answer it after this first down play. Mon has all day. Pocket holds well. And then some pressure. He feels it and gets taken down. I mean, it's one thing for the coaches to self-scout and see it, but can't you self-police yourself and be aware of that as a lineman?
There's no doubt. You should have an idea of what your split should be on every play. Ours were 2-foot splits, and your toe was halfway down the foot of the center. So my guard's toes were halfway down my foot, 2 feet away. And if I saw him tightening up on me, I would look at my left guard or my right guard and say, hey, widen out a little bit, widen out. It does tighten the pocket some, but it also closes the edge and gives you a closer edge to the quarterback rushing a defensive in or outside linebacker.
Gamecock's defense was on the field for 99 plays week 1 against NC State. Mon on the run. And he gets taken down from behind and awkwardly for a gain of 3. And great hustle. Chase him down from behind.
Tom, they're trying. They're trying to take some shots. They're trying to get Mon's eyes downfield, run some combinations, but nobody's separating right now. And South Carolina's playing good coverage, mixing things up, especially 3rd and long here. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw an extra man come, 5-man pressure with a little coverage behind it.
Aggies have converted 5 first downs, 3 of them via the pass. This is the 11th play of the drive. Mon hands it off. This is Williams. And he's cut down short of the marker on a gain of 7. Rashad Fenton there for the tackle from his cornerback spot.
I keep my offense on the field here, Tom, but it looks like they're going to choose to take the points. I guess it's can't disagree with them there, but it just felt like this is a moment where they needed some momentum. Felt like they had a little momentum going, driving down.
Well, I know we're still in the 3rd quarter, but down 10, you're going to need a field goal at some point. Daniel LaCamera with 8 makes is tied for 5th in the FBS. This would be from 46. His long this year is 48. And LaCamera is able to bring this one back and through.
And when he makes it like that, it always makes an offensive coordinator, a head coach look like they made the right decision.
Yeah.
I'm a gambler, man. If me as an offensive coordinator, I wouldn't make a lot of people happy.
Well, you know, would you call it differently if the road team instead of the home team? You probably would.
Probably. Yeah, absolutely.
They'll fire the cannon after that make from LaCamera, his 9th field goal of the season. Well, there's the 12th man. Cullen Gillespie, a junior from Katy, Texas, out of Taylor High School. Following in the footsteps of E. King Gill, came out of the stands back in 1922 against Center College and was able to suit up when the Aggies were down to just 11 healthy bodies. One of the best traditions in all of college football. On the kickoff team and also starting Sam linebacker. 12th man has never scored a touchdown for Texas A&M. Dating back to the Slocum era. Bentley is pressured and they trip him up. Somehow he flipped it free. It was Ataro Olaka got to him. Was he down? They say yes. He was down at the 18-yard line. It's a dangerous play by Bentley just to heave it. It's a loss of 7.
And they're trying for the pop pass here to 81, Hayden Hurst. This is...
What do you got?
It's close.
And now it's getting loud. 2nd and 17. Edwards came back for it. Another. Nope, incomplete. They couldn't haul it in going across the sideline. Charles Oliver had the coverage.
And a great job by Charles Oliver on the outside. You're taught as a corner, even when that ball hits the chest or in the hands of the receiver, you got to split the hands. Look at that last push. That should have been a completion. Great job splitting the hands.
Listen in to what Jake Bentley's hearing and seeing now. They needed 17 and they gave it to Tyson Williams, who finds 7. And now you can kind of feel that momentum start to shift. It may have started with the field goal to make it a 1-score game. Now the Aggie defense stands. You're going to have Christian Kirk with a punt return opportunity.
That's a big stop for Texas A&M on defense. That's what they needed. You're going to head into the 4th quarter here, just down a score.
Christian Kirk has 5 career punt return touchdowns. It's 2nd among players active in the FBS right now. He'll get a chance to blow the lid off Kyle Field when we return. 17-10 after 3. It's a different feeling here, isn't it?
I didn't think that. I thought you were kidding.
No.
I started standing level and I'm shaking.
And this is the new part of the building. We're moving a little bit wider over there. High kick and a beauty. And Kirk won't have a chance. Sky Moore downs it at the 44-yard line. It was a 31-yard punt that time from Joseph Charlton out of AC Flora High School. Most importantly, able to keep it away from Kirk. And now they'll try to run it on 1st and 20. Pickup of 3 that time for Travion Williams. That holding penalty changes everything on this drive for Texas A&M. Mon caught. Damian Ratley to the 20. And they're able to erase that 17-yard deficit on a 26-yard strike to Ratley. Senior coming through huge for Texas A&M. And now Travion Williams pushes his way to the 15.
And what you didn't see here is Christian Kirk running up the hash there, takes all the defenders out of the way. Great job by Kellen Mond to buy some time, stay patient, and find Damian Ratley over the middle.
Kirk has been targeted 7 times, 4 catches tonight, but he's played a fantastic role as a decoy and clearing space. Coaches credit the job that he does by getting those eyes open up the running game and the passing game. Mond pressured, will scramble. 1st down, and A&M keeps the drive alive on the run by the freshman. It's a gain of 8. So 1st and goal, A&M.
And South Carolina's got to start putting somebody on Mond. It wasn't this play, they were playing zone there, but the previous touchdown that was negated was a man pressure. Nobody's eyes on Mond. They got to have somebody, especially down here in the red zone. Oh.
Play clock's at 3. Here's Ford straight ahead, motoring, pushing, shoving, and Ford is in. Touchdown, Texas A&M and Keith Ford. So Texas A&M had a big gain wiped off because of a hold. They had a touchdown wiped out because of a targeting, and still they're able to come through. And a point after from Daniel LaCamera is as close as we are to tying it up. What an effort. McCoy, McCollum. And with 12:27 to go, it's 17 all. And when you consider where they've been over the last 3 years, sensational starts, crippling finishes, which makes this, especially with the upcoming schedule, a must-win for Texas A&M. Gamecocks fight over it, and A.J. Turner brings it out, and he gets lit. Here's what it's like being a quarterback in the SEC. Listen in. That's if the clock operator can hear him. Trading punches, a sack, then a gain of 13. And now third down, it's going to get loud again.
And a ton of energy on the outside by these rushers for Texas A&M. They're not bringing pressure. They're getting back there with 4. First and second down, they're able to get pressure with 4 this time. They actually do bring pressure. You're going to see these linebackers cross dog. And Tara Locke comes clean on to Jake Bentley.
We got a flag on the play. Kirk won't have a chance to return this one. Wow. It takes an Aggie hop. And the Aggies, one way or another, going to end up with fantastic field position. We'll see what the flag is. 2 sacks on that possession for the Texas A&M defense. Alaka got 1. Kiki got the first.
On the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
Kingsley Kiki brought the pressure on first down. Then it was Otaro Alaka with his 2nd sack of the season, planting Jake Bentley in the Kyle Field turf. Snug late.
The field position for Texas A&M has been great.
They start in South Carolina territory. Kellen Mond, the freshman quarterback, will hand off on first down. And Keith Ford had a touchdown on the last possession. Fights for two.
Gonna have to throw the ball here at some point.
64 plays thus far, 40 on the ground, 24 through the air. Or pardon me, yeah, 24 through the air, and Mon 16 completions for 122 yards.
And if you're Noel Mazzoni, you want to manage his eyes. Easy 1-2 reads. Don't put a ton of pressure on him to scan the whole field.
Ford bottled up, and he'll go backwards. Loss of one. Let's check in with Cole.
Guys, not much on that run play there, but keep in mind what Noel Mazzoni told us in our meetings yesterday, that rotating offensive lines, he saw a big difference late in that Arkansas game with just how fresh they were. Rotating again today, that could pay off big here late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you take 14 or 15 reps off those O-linemen's plate. They're feeling a little better in the fourth quarter.
Aggies have converted 5 of 13 on third down. Pressure coming up the middle. Complete. Room to run for Osborne. Jamarcus King gambled. And freshman to freshman, teammates from IMG Academy, Kellen Mond and Jamon Osborne move the chains with a gain of 21.
And when you're a young quarterback, you work with your comfort zone, and that's a guy you were throwing the football to in high school. It's a stop route, man coverage. Trust your guy to win.
Here's Ford. Ford almost broke free. As it is, he's able to pick up 7. Aggies took the lead with 4:33 to go in the second quarter. And then South Carolina grabbed it back, and A&M hadn't been back there since. 2 big sacks in this fourth quarter for South Carolina. Ford straight ahead. And he is in again. Second touchdown run for Keith Ford. Aggies back in front.
Oh, has Keith Ford been a spark or what? Run after run, he's finishing with physicality, and once again, taking 3 Gamecock guys into the end zone. Boy.
Tripucka will hold the camera for the point after. And A&M reclaims the lead. The Gamecocks have an answer. Ford's running strong. 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Rashad Fenton from the 1. Fenton full head of steam to the 30 before he gets tripped up. Almost intercepted. It was Armani Watts who laid out for it. So South Carolina's offense hasn't done much of note here in the fourth quarter, but here is.
And just not a good decision, not a good throw by Jake Bentley. Number 24, Priest Willis, had coverage over the top. You got to move on from that. It's a great look if you have a man-on-man situation. The guy's beat, but that throw's either got to be back shoulder or to the check down.
Bentley pressured. 3rd sack of the quarter for the Aggies defense. Zakoven Henderson got him that time, and it's a loss of 8.
And Tom, this is just all effort. There's nothing special. There's nothing tricky about this. You got 4 or 5 guys rushing the passer, and that's just effort. Man on man beating somebody. You don't have many choices. Screen, handoff, hope it spits.
They bring 6. Bentley senses it. Nothing he can do. Jared Johnson that time. Seventh sack of the night for Texas A&M.
And just pressure from every angle for Jake Bentley. They even brought pressure from Willis there over the slot from the field, but Jarrett Johnson winning. 2 or 3 guys finishing it off.
4th sack in the last 2 possessions. The Texas A&M defense. Kirk says stay away from it. And South Carolina is going to put it in the hands of the defense with 5:55 to go after that 53-yard punt. A lot of yelling going on in Aggie land tonight. Under 6 minutes to go, 4th quarter from Kyle Field, and Texas A&M leads South Carolina 24-17. But we've got some great news for South Carolina fans. For more, let's go down to Cole on the sideline.
Tom, South Carolina wide receiver Terry Guzer has been released from Scott and White Hospital in College Station. So great news to hear that he's going to be out of the hospital tonight and hopefully back with his teammates soon.
All right, Cole, thanks. Guzer was injured with 5:54 to go in the 1st quarter, taken off the field on a backboard and taken away on an ambulance in a scary sight. Aggies will try to use some clock here, and they'll do it by giving it to Travion Williams, and Travion Williams is able to pick up 3.
Important here if you're South Carolina. TJ Brunson, Sky Moore, both the linebackers got to have eyes on Kellen Mond. Got to trust up front is going to stop the run. You can't let him beat you in this type of situation with his feet.
Mond is rushed for 84 yards tonight. That's 6 yards a carry on 14 carries. And he's usually done it, as you mentioned, by eluding the pressure. Here comes Sky Moore from the edge. Mond gets taken down by Moore right at the line of scrimmage. So this is a Texas A&M team that's trying to get to 9 wins this season for head coach Kevin Sumlin. 3-1 right now, and here's what's up next. 4 ranked teams, including undefeated Alabama, coming in next. Alabama having no issues with Ole Miss tonight. They go to Florida for the first time since the 60s. Mississippi State has struggled lately, but that is a gauntlet for this squad.
And Auburn, looks like things are clicking now. A couple weeks ago, Mississippi State looked that way too, but that's what the SEC is right there. SEC West, you're going to have that every single year.
Momentum can change in a hurry in this league, huh? On 3rd and 7, Mond. First down, Texas A&M, and freshman Kellen Mond. Why is it so hard to stop?
Because this is not only a read play, but you got a blocker or 2 pulling for you. Call this the counter read. So he's reading front side, can hand it off. If he gets the look, he's keeping it. He's got 2 guys, 2 offensive linemen pulling ahead of him. It's a great call there.
Keaton Southern out front, and I know Southern has impressed you tonight, Cole, huh?
The last 2 touchdown runs, he has had huge blocks collapsing the right side of that offensive line. He's been very impressive, Tom.
Junior from Flower Mound, Texas. Fresh set of downs for the Aggies. Mond trying to throw. It gets deflected and caught. And Osborne's able to take it for a first down. Everything has gone the Aggies' way here in the 4th quarter, it seems.
And Tom, it's the exact same play. Exact same play. This is the freedom they give Kellen Mond. He's got the opportunity to run this. It's the counter read again. Instead, he pulls and throws. Doesn't have the look he wants, so backside, he's got what we call a now route, a looky route.
So he can hand off, he can keep it, and he can throw it on the same play.
That's what a mobile quarterback can do for you.
Carolina comes up big. Sky Moore in there. Well, why is the counter so important to Texas A&M?
Well, first off, you have 2 pulling offensive linemen that get out in front. You have lead blockers, but the options that Kellen Mond has that Jordan just pointed out, Tom, this play absolutely gutted Arkansas a week ago. Kellen Mond's big run was on a zone read counter. Travion Williams' touchdown in the second half, a zone read counter. On top of that, you can put in a counter cue where the quarterback's not going to have the option to hand it off, and he can just follow those blockers, so it's more of a power play. We haven't even really seen that yet, but that's something that can be in addition to that play later on for Texas A&M that gives them even more options.
Counter cue, meaning the quarterback is the ball carrier in that scenario. 2nd and 12 now for Texas A&M. And Mon out to the perimeter. Ratley. He gets hog-tied at the 36-yard line, able to get 4. Jam Williams there to bring him down, and a timeout used by South Carolina with 2:05 and the clock's still rolling. Gamecocks need to get the ball back. This is a 3rd and 8 for A&M. And they come up big with a big-time stop to hold Texas A&M. It's a loss of 1.
Final charge timeout. South Carolina.
Comes from an athletic family. His dad was a wide receiver at Boston College, and the senior from Allen, Texas, used to playing in front of big crowds, 23,000 a night in high school, 50,000 in the state championship game. And Tripucka got put on his back, but no flag. It carries into the end zone and a touchback. South Carolina's run 50 offensive plays. They've been sacked 7 times, 5 additional tackles for loss. No timeouts for South Carolina. Under 2 minutes to go, down a touchdown. Quick hitter to the outside, and Edwards, and he's able to fight, and he's able to pick up a first down. What an effort by the sophomore Brian Edwards. 1:40 to go as the clock stops for a moment. A&M only brought 4 that time. Will they dial up pressure again, or is that too risky? Bentley over the middle. Caught. Hurst, and another South Carolina first down. Back-to-back strikes to Edwards and Hurst, his 2 most reliable receivers. Lined up at the slot in front of Edwards. Bentley out route Hurst, and he's out of bounds. Stop the clock with 1:02 to go. $96,000 strong at Kyle Field tonight.
And I'm going to bring pressure up the gut here.
Bentley, back foot, sideline toss. He was itching to leave the pocket and really take off a little bit. Remember, he had a huge 3rd down run last week against Louisiana Tech as he directed the 4th quarter comeback.
Yeah, he wanted to step up to the right here, but Texas A&M running cross dog, so that second linebacker really fills that void of where Bentley would be able to step up and escape. Nowhere to go but throw the football out of bounds there.
3rd down, 12. 7 sacks tonight for A&M.
Coming again to the backside.
Bentley tripped up, stays on his feet, and he takes it all the way out to the logo on a gain of 7. Clock running 46. Bentley might be banged up. Fourth and 5. Bentley over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Texas A&M's pressure pays off again.
We saw nearly every snap of that drive. They were bringing pressure up the gut, right in Bentley's face, not allowing him to step up and escape. John Chavis dialing it up.
Dotson, Tyrell Dotson, the sophomore from Franklin, Tennessee, got his hands on it. How hard is that as a quarterback when you've just had to scramble, right? You've had to run the ball, you've taken a hit, and now you got to get up and try to convert in 4th and 5.
Yeah, and he took a good hit. And you got guys coming up in your face. It's It's not easy. Jake Bentley is a tough son of a gun and a competitor. That was a great last drive by John Chavis there, bringing pressure up the gut time and time again.
Huge win for Kevin Sumlin and Texas A&M for the 3rd week in a row. The Aggies trailed at the half and came back to win. Change of pace from their opening loss to UCLA. Aggies go to 4-1. They've got Alabama coming in next. And a win keyed by their defense. And a monster 4th quarter from John Chavis' defense by getting on Jake Bentley. 7 sacks overall tonight for the Aggies. Not quite the wrecking crew. It's a big moniker to live up to. They came pretty close tonight. Kevin Sumlin's with Cole Kublik.
Coach Sumlin.
Nice job, man.
Saying hello to Coach Travaris Robinson there quickly. Coach Sumlin, how proud are you of this defensive line and their effort tonight?
Well, you know, as a team, but I thought our defense, you know, we played the run pretty well, gave up some big plays, but these guys just kept playing. They've been giving great effort all year, and execution's been a big deal. And you know, to come from behind and keep playing the way they were playing, our crowd was fabulous tonight, and you know, it really was at home to the 12th man. I think it made a difference.
You told me at halftime you needed to make some adjustments, do some things different for Kellen to make him more comfortable in the second half. Some huge runs. Is there a point in time when you just say, just go out there and make some plays, young man?
Yeah, I make some plays, and you know, we put his legs in it, and some read stuff. They were running us down from behind. I thought Keith Ford came in and gave us a different look with some power runs, some great efforts. But any win like this, the team win, and give him some opportunities where, you know, we don't have to put it in his hands to win all the time. And that's our offensive line, our running backs, had some receivers make some plays for him too.
Coach, we lost a legend in college football today. I know Joe Tiller meant a lot to you. Describe to me just what he meant to you.
Well, I started off the day with that. You know, here's a man who was a great coach, but even better man. Besides my dad, you know, I've known him since I was 18 years old. Played 4 years for him as a defensive coordinator. He gave me, I was a GA for him at Washington State. Gave me my first full-time job at Wyoming for 2 years. Got back to Purdue. Really had a huge influence. I wouldn't be where I was today without Joe Tiller, and my condolences to Arnett and the family. He's in a better place now, but he's had an impact on a lot of different people's lives, and me in particular, and so today was kind of tough.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Well, I get back to the studio real quick to check with Dari and the gang before we have more from right here in Kyle Field. Dari?